Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast.
Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming podcast.
I bang with One Up Gaming, drop more hits once I'm famous. The best, that's what our aim is. All platforms, what your game is. To the leaderboards are coming. See me in a shooter, I can promise I'll be gunning. When I hit the music, try to swear I'm gonna run it. Conte One Up, you can try, but we done it. Let's go. Alright, let's go to the best place for reviews I know. Xbox One and PS4, Wii U as far as consoles go. They do handheld PCs, merchandise for you and me. Contests that you gotta do, the prizes are for gamers who going hard all day. We really the boys cause you're just that great. Can't lose, there's too much at stake. You're a certified badass when you play.
I bang with One Up Gaming. I bang with One Up Gaming.
I bang with One Up Gaming, drop more hits once I'm famous. The best, that's what our aim is. All platforms, what your game is. To the leaderboards I'm coming. See me in a shooter, I can promise I'll be gunning. When I hit the music, try to swear I'm gonna run it. Conte One Up, you can try, but we done it. Let's go. Go hard all day. Conte, go hard all day, man. With One Up Gaming.
This week we are sponsored by Audible. Want to listen free to interesting movies and books? Try the Audible 30-day trial and join Audible today and you can enjoy your first listen free. Of course, if you don't like your audio books, then you can exchange it free for another. So what are you waiting for? Visit www.audibletrial.com and try the Audible 30-day trial right now. And we're here, it's One Up Gaming, episode 162. It's me, David, and this week, it's the throw a spanner to get a new guest. It's George.
I'm a guest?
Co-host, do you want to say then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Just like throwing darts on a dartboard.
Yeah, it's like whoever I can get this week.
It's understandable, though. People are busy.
Oh, yeah. I just wish that they would just email me to sort of say, oh, I am busy, or I am doing this, that, the other.
Oh, yeah, that would be super nice, like I tell you all the time, if I can make it.
I mean, like, Chris emails saying he's on a road trip this weekend, so he can't come and do it. But it's nice to have people come along and sort of say that they're busy and can't do it.
Yeah.
Instead of me just sat there going, come on.
Sucks. I wish this was part of my full-time job, but nope, doesn't work like that.
I know. Well, my job's changed now, so I'm now working. As of Tuesday next week, I'll be working during the day. So I'll actually see people and not just the scum of the earth that druggies at night.
Hold on.
Yeah. So, George, what have you been doing this week?
What have I been doing, or what have I been playing?
Let's see what you've been doing. See, just change it up a wee bit.
All right. What have I been doing? Oh boy. Well, I had stuff to do for work that makes me busy. Studying for tests. That's not fun. But I did find some time to play games on top of that. Yeah. You weren't gonna get much out of me telling you what I did during the week because it wasn't much. I played a little bit of Mass Effect, the first one, maybe like 20 minutes. In total, this whole week, maybe like an hour.
That's all you need.
Nah, you need to finish the whole game. But
I got to is it the Citadel?
No.
And then I got lost and turned it off.
How do you get lost?
It's all white and looks the same.
There's even a map in the game.
I don't know. I think what happened is I got there, got a mission, and had to go somewhere, but then I turned it off. And when I reloaded it, it was started at the mission, but I couldn't remember where I was going.
Riveting conversation.
Yeah.
I got the Amazon Fire TV Gaming Edition. They were having a sale. Prime Day for the 12th here.
And here,
I
and
got
here.
that. And everywhere. And
Yeah.
even in Africa. I don't even know. That might not be true. But anyway, I got the Fire TV Gaming Edition. I got it yesterday and I set it up today. I did not play around with it too much, but I played a few games and looked at the UI and everything. And it seems pretty cool. I was afraid it was going to be bad. I was afraid that it was going to be buggy or something, but Amazon really pulled through because I know, or at least I heard about how Kindles are, and I was afraid this was going to be kind of like that.
So, do you actually know what the basic specs are, like what the processor speed is and the RAM and things like that?
I really don't know, but I spent $100. This is usually $130. I would assume it's something pretty good for that kind of price.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got a few months ago now, we were talking Shield TV.
Yeah.
And that cost me £150.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'd have a guess that'd be about $180.
Something like that, yeah.
So, but the Shield TV, it's got like 3 gig of RAM and a really, like a Tegra processor.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
Of course, I mean, the thing is, it would be that processor because that's NVIDIA made. Which I'm surprised they're still making it, but because they said they were not making any more of those for anything, and then they just turned around and said, oh, hey, now we're releasing these handheld Shields and Shield tablets and Shield TVs and this and that. Like, they said that they weren't going to make more Tegra processors or GPUs or whatever they are for mobile devices. And then they just turned around and just they started making their own, like, devices. It's weird, but they work. They're pretty good. I don't know how they are because I haven't played around. Like, I have the handheld Shield, and that's pretty good for what it is and what it does. But I don't know what, like, a Shield TV is like or a Shield tablet. And if I kind of have the money to do so, but I also don't feel like spending the money on that because that's a lot of money just in general.
Yeah.
But looking at this Fire TV, it probably isn't as good as the Shield TV, but it's really nice what it has. The controller is like a modified 360 controller. It has some weight to it, which is something I personally like. The controller itself has a headphone port, and it has a microphone built in. And there's a button that you use. You hold it, and you can speak to Amazon's Alexis service. And I don't think it works like Echo or anything, but I think you can just search up like TV shows, and you might be able to.
It'll
search
basically be like the Connect sort of voice features.
Kind of, but it probably works better.
Because like the Shield TV, that's got that as well. It's got like a little microphone in the controller and all the other bits and bobs.
I'm wondering if I'm sure there's some kind of online games on the Fire TV. I wonder if there's any games that support the microphone. That'd be very interesting.
I don't know. I know that
because it's right there, and it'd be good for like shooters. And people make shooters for Android, which I believe the Fire TV is just a modified version of Android.
I think they're all Android.
Maybe. That could be possibly true.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't do too much. I didn't play around too much with that, but what I see so far is pretty cool. It has 5 gigahertz network card built in, which is a must nowadays. And then to top it all off, I played a little bit more of my Vive, working on a review for VR Ping Pong. Some cool stuff. That's what I'm gonna say.
I've got to say, I don't know if you were on the podcast when I went to the Glasgow gaming event that I went to a couple of weeks ago now.
Maybe.
And I actually tried the Vive. and I wasn't that impressed.
To be honest, what impresses you? I think you were expecting too
Sega
much out of
Saturn.
the first. How does so good things you don't like, bad things you think are very good?
No, I just felt that the resolution wasn't quite there. It looked a bit pixelated and blocky.
You might have been playing a bad game because a lot of the games I play do not.
Yeah,
or
I
the
mean,
settings might be low because the
guy
games I play
said
are not like that.
the guy said that he weren't going to show us any proper games. They were like the one I played. It looked like Portal, but it was like a first-person sort of shooter where you used two things to shoot. You basically stand still and
It
rotate
sounds
around.
just like Portal.
Well, no, the aesthetics, the look of it.
The aesthetics were different.
No, it looks like Portal. You know, it's all white and clean and.
Yeah, but you said it's like Portal, but it's first person and you shoot things.
No, I'm just saying it. The look of it, the graphical style is like Portal,
Okay.
but it was quite fun.
You should.
I wanted to
I wish
try
there was a way
like a
that I could
racing
show
game.
you. I don't have any racing games, but there are like
That's all I want.
I have
is a racing game.
stuff like Modbox and stuff like that, and it's really cool. And there's one that has to do with like guns and stuff. What is it called? It's like horse. What is it fucking called?
I thought you were going to say
Handguns,
horse shit.
hot dogs, and hand grenades or some shit like that. Or I don't know. It's something like that, and it's really cool. It's it's kind of like a gun simulator in a way. You pick up a gun. You can load it. You can pull back the slide. You could shoot it. You could swap the fire rate. You can shoot at targets. You can shoot from the hip. You can shoot with one hand. You can shoot aiming down sight. Shit like that. You can throw grenades, pull the pin. There are stupid grenades that they have, like banana grenades and hot dog grenades, and you get a lighter. And you light the fuse, and then you throw it, and you can obviously cook the grenade, and wait till the fuse is shorter, and throw it, and it's all that kind of shit.
I tell you what, I've uploaded a video on our YouTube channel, and I named it "Is Dino Dini Going Mad?" And I sort of like went onto Dino Dini's Twitch sort of thing, and he was like doing a day of coding. So you could ask him questions and stuff.
Yeah.
And he had a big 20-minute rant at the beginning and saying, like, don't listen to the reviewers. They don't know what they're talking about. The game's good. And someone's just replied saying, why keep banging the indie drum when you're working for Sony? And another one's like, and the scrolling message that says, don't believe the bad reviews. For fuck's sake, man, make a new game for once. Move on. So.
Wow. Oh, man.
People like Dino.
Oh, yeah, they love him. He's great
Yeah.
for birthday parties.
Sorry, go ahead.
What, was I saying anything? I don't even remember.
I don't know. I might have waited until you finished. I can't remember.
Great.
I was just. Do you know when you're sort of reading something, you get quite enthralled in what you're reading, and you just sort of like.
I like how you never pay attention.
I know, it's really bad.
It is really bad.
That's probably why I've got no friends.
To be honest, I don't even know how you have a girlfriend.
No, neither do I.
She probably thinks you're listening. That's why. Oh, he's a great listener. He never interrupts.
I just sit there like a zombie. Nah. Like every so often she has to wipe the drool from her mouth. Is it like,
And then she stops talking and says, Did you know this one guy on Twitch? People hate him and they keep shit talking him.
Yeah, I need to get out more.
You should play Pokemon Go.
I tried it. I deleted it.
Cause you're dumb. I play Pokemon Go. I'm planning on going out tomorrow and catching some Pokemon. because it's a good game. It's fun, and then you can
No.
probably meet people. And
You're wrong. It's a good idea. It's not a good game.
Well, you're wrong. And that's okay because you're always wrong, so you're used to it.
Thank you.
I don't. What don't you like about it?
The fact that it's called Pokemon, but it's nothing like Pokemon.
You catch Pokemon and you fight.
Yeah, but you don't use the turn-based fighting mechanics that's been on Pokemon for like 20-odd years.
It's Pokemon, and you go. How hard is it? How hard is it to understand?
No, it's just a reskinned version of their last game. Is it Ingress?
Ingress worked a little bit differently.
Probably worked better.
What? No.
It probably worked better.
Nah.
And I love all the... I don't want to sort of say gaming news, because it's the so-called big press, the real news sites, who they're all going out, oh, Nintendo's this, that, the other, but it's like, Nintendo had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, it's just...
the Pokemon company.
It's just Nintendo's property. It's the Pokemon Company and Game Freak, which is... which they basically have no hand in it, but Game Freak does the Pokemon games.
Yeah.
They have no hand in development or anything, but their name is on there.
But I mean, they haven't confirmed it, but do you know, in America alone, they were making about $2 million a day.
That sounds about right.
Because idiot little kids are buying Pokeballs or whatever.
Little kids?
I don't know, people that play the game.
I'm sure it's people my age and a little bit older.
Like 5-year-olds,
No, a lot of people who played are like my age, or a little bit younger, or a little bit older.
I tell you what, it's great news that people have worked out you dump one of those, I don't know what you call it, where you put a marker down to attract more Pokemon, and people come along try and get better Pokemon, and then the people who planted that rob the people of their nice new phones. That's good.
That only happens at like night though, because bad people are outside.
Teaches people not to be stupid.
I mean, it's a part of the game. How does that mean that they're stupid?
When I'm out and about, my phone hardly ever comes out of my pocket. It's worth 600 quid. It just stays hidden away. I don't like advertise that I've got an iPhone.
I like to use... Well, the thing is... I don't know what to say that. But the thing is... I don't know. I use my phone, and then, like, tomorrow... at some point, probably, like, somewhat near the morning, but more towards afternoon, I'm probably just gonna go out and catch some Pokemon. There's a park that's so close to me, and it has a gym, and it has, like, 3 or 4 stops or something like that. So, gonna go over there, maybe explore a little bit more. Catch some Pokemon.
Yeah, you catch them.
Yeah. I'm sorry I like to enjoy things that don't have soccer or fighting mechanics in the game.
Hey, I've played games this week that have nothing to do with any of those.
Oh, I'm sorry. Also, driving cars. I'm sorry that there's no driving cars in Pokemon.
Shit, that's 3 of the games. Right. I like racing and driving games.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there's no racing in this game, so obviously you think it's shit. Pikachu does not drive RC car. 0 out of 10 would never play again.
But I got disappointed because there was Angry Birds Go, and that was a racing game, so I just assumed Pokemon Go was just their version of the racing game.
Only you.
I'm joking.
Only you. You say you're joking.
Nah, everyone knows what Pokemon Go is.
Obviously not, because I took a look at the website before. And the extreme amounts of sarcasm just poured all over my face.
So is that all you've been doing this week and playing?
Yeah.
So what phone do you have? Is it an iPhone or Android?
I use an Android.
Android.
I prefer not to use Apple devices. And I have good reasoning. It's not like I'm some guy that will shit on somebody. But, like, I will say that in the past, I've had a lot of problems with, like, every Apple device I've owned. And with, like, every device that isn't an Apple device that I've owned, I've had less problems with. I'm not going to say that I've had no problems with, because everything that you own, you'll have at least one problem with.
Yeah.
But I've had less problems not using Apple devices.
I mean, the problem for me, the reason why I didn't like Android is because you can do that much with the OS, technically, because it's basically open, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
I found that the phone itself is a lot more susceptible to, like, crashes. Not
really.
It was for me, because, God, I did some weird shit for that phone.
You probably bought a bad phone, though. You probably bought, like a $100 phone.
No, it was a Galaxy S4 at the time.
I owned a GS4, and I had no problems with it. I actually still use it to this day as, like, a music player and a podcast player. And
it was
I have no
so
problems.
slow.
You must... I don't know what you did, but, like, that phone, even to this day, is actually decently fast. Not compared to my phone, but, like, it's still decently fast when I'm coming from my S6.
I mean, hand on heart, I can honestly say Samsung are one of the worst Android phone makers.
You say that, but they're one of the best, actually.
No, the chips and the bits and the screens are the best. Their OS that they overlay on top of stuff and the amount of shit they install on it.
I'll be honest, I don't really have much of that stuff on there. I obviously have some stuff, because that's what everyone except for Google does. But, like, other than that, like, I don't have massive amounts of shit on there. Besides, like, most of it you can remove anyway.
No, if it's Samsung, a lot of it's baked into it and you can't remove. You have to do a clean wipe and get a different Android system on there.
I don't know. I removed a good amount of stuff that I had on there.
But yeah, let's not go down this road. The phone I still enjoyed the most is my old Windows 8 phone.
That's very surprising to me. There's not much you could really... Oh, I get it. Because there's not much you can do with it. I realized as I was saying it.
But it was a clean interface and it was really fast and smooth.
I have to say, I had a friend who had one, but the thing is it only had half a gig of RAM. It was one of the Nokia ones. And it was good for a while, and then it just started getting so fucking slow. Like, even making calls was really slow. And you can't really download much on there, and you can't really do too much with it. So, like, I don't know what happened, but it's just like, it would just get so bogged down. And the battery life was actually pretty good, but there was nothing that really interested me. The Windows interface is interesting, but there's not, like, a lot of shit on there. Like, I don't even think there's, like, an official Facebook app on there or anything. In which I actually don't really use Facebook on my phone anymore, because the Facebook app on Android, I don't even know if this is for iPhone, but for Android, it takes up so many resources and it fucks up with the Gear VR, so I just uninstalled it.
I don't really use it on the phone.
Yeah, and the Messenger app is garbage as well.
Yeah, but I have to have that because I book and talk to developers and whatnot. And sometimes it's on Facebook, sometimes it's on Skype, sometimes it's on LinkedIn and things like that.
Right.
But yeah, personally speaking, I don't use Facebook. And I mean, I've just downloaded and set up a Snapchat account. I
don't even know how that works.
Neither do I.
It's like, all right, I want to look at the messages. Wait, what's going on? Why do I see myself in the camera? What is going on here?
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy.
Like, I remember using earlier versions of it, and it was so, like, it was not super intuitive, but it was, like, easy to understand and get to where you wanted to get to. And then this is just like, I have to stick the phone up my ass or something to get to messages, because I don't even think I know how to get to my messages still. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go back to talk about some games. So the first thing that I want to talk about is I got sent something called a Gamevice to review.
What is that?
Do you remember probably two and a half years ago, something came out called the WikiPad?
Okay, I remember the name, but I can't think of...
It was a
device
7-inch tablet
Okay.
that had like a controller that you slid into it. It looked like a big U shape.
But it was bad?
It was quite good. It was like, it came out at the wrong time. Just as that came out for like £250, the same sort of spec Android tablets came out at a budget price a few weeks later.
Okay.
So the same sort of spec was like £150. So basically they were like, you know, all our marketing, all our stuff, it's like 250 quid.
Like, fuck!
It felt, yeah, so basically it just died.
Yeah.
It had some really good ideas. It was the originator of the program, so you could, on, say, a touchscreen racing game where you had to press left or right on the actual screen, you could use the WikiPad, press a button, and map left and right as the left and right stick.
Oh, you could do that on the Shield handheld.
Yeah.
You could do that for any game.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but they were the
cool.
ones who... that was their program. They originated that idea.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
And basically, when I was talking to him, I basically said to him, I love the idea. I love the tech. It's too expensive. What you need to do is just scrap the tablet. It's too hard to buy something in of good quality to sell cheap and make profit.
Yeah.
What you need to do is just have the actual, a universal controller thing that slips into a tablet. And they said, yeah, that's where they're going. Either just to have like an Android or an iOS app to get the software on, and then a controller.
That would be amazing. I've been looking for something like that for a while.
And I mean, while we are talking, I will turn on my webcam just so you can see.
He's naked. Oh.
Well, I'm in a dressing gown. But just so you can see what I'm talking about, that is...
Oh, I've seen that on Amazon.
The Gamevice.
I've seen something like that on Amazon.
And basically, it's weird as hell because it's looks like two bits of rubber holding together it's like two halves of a controller.
Yeah.
Held together by a bit of rubber in the middle.
I've seen something like that for tablets on Amazon.
Yeah, this is the phone version of it.
Yeah.
So I've only got a phone, but
right.
They do the iPhone and they do the iPad sort of version. And what's weird is I got it sent to review, so I mean I'll be having a quick play around with it and do a bit of a written up words about it. And I thought, I better go check on the price of it so I can have a look. Because to me,
$500.
it feels nice in your hands, but it's very light and plasticky. So, in my opinion, the Xbox One pad and the PS4 pad are quite nice and they feel well made, and they're about £45-50.
But the thing is, it doesn't hold your device.
No. But you don't need a £500 device to go inside it.
Is it really £500?
Well, the iPhones, yeah, they're about 500 quid, yeah.
No, I thought you were talking about the controller.
No, the controller. Okay. The one that I've got for the iPhones, they're about £75.
Okay.
And for the iPads, they're about £90.
Okay.
Which, to me, I think they're...
And this also works for Android? Or no?
I think you can get Android versions,
Okay.
but I don't know because I just checked the price of these ones.
Because
but
if there's
yeah.
an Android version, I'd take a look at buying one.
And I mean, as I say, it's feels good in your hands, and it's just, I just think they're a little bit too expensive.
Yeah.
And the main problem that I've had is Android. A lot of the games, you can do the actual, you plug it in, and you can even use the sticks and whatever on the home screen. It works as like a little mouse or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas on the iPhone, because Apple are so locked down with their system, it doesn't do anything. And then it's only a few games that work with it.
Yeah. So, like, Android, you can use, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if you have it, it will probably use it. Especially keyboard and mouse, because it's just so built in. You know, you can have, like, a desktop Android device if you want to. I don't suggest doing that, but you can do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Android's just a different kernel of Linux.
Basically, yeah.
You know, they just sort of, like, went off in a different sort of way.
Yeah.
Made it look a lot nicer, but...
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a nice piece of kit. I think it should have been £45.
I really don't know what it's like.
And maybe 55 for the iPad version.
I don't know what it's like behind the scenes. And I'm hoping that they're not pricing it this high to make a huge profit off of it. And maybe this is just to make some kind of profit off of it, and it's not too easy to make, but I don't know. And I'm being a little positive here, giving them the benefit of the doubt. But that sounds alright for that kind of price, as long as it works well.
One thing that I will say, which is quite eye-opening, is that they've signed a deal to actually be included within all Apple stores.
Really?
So I think they might have added a little bit of premium onto the price to be included within like an Apple store.
Well, anything that's made by Apple or for Apple is going to be expensive.
You know, so I think that...
Because they can.
Yeah. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. It works. It feels nice.
No.
It's weird. I think it's because it's very long and quite narrow. It just looks weird in your hand.
You need to change the way you're talking, because for the past 5 minutes, it sounds like you've been talking about someone's dick.
Oh,
It
yeah.
feels nice in your hand. It's very long.
It spits at you.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta shake it around to get it to work.
Oh, breaking news.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to get the name wrong. The charity Child's Play.
Okay.
Have you heard of them?
Yes.
They've said they'd be happy to work and support us, and they will attach some copies of the logo. Basically, the music CD that we were going to produce, sort of emailed them saying, right, we're looking at doing this. Would you like to help us promote it? We'll add your logo on, and we'll sort of have on the CD cover, £2 of every sale will go to Child's Play.
Okay.
And they've just come back to us and said, yeah, they'd be happy for all that to go ahead.
Wow.
So,
Great.
yeah, so hopefully... I really need to email you the documentation I need to fill in for the music CD.
What are your parents' names? What is your socials identity number or whatever you call it?
It is crazy. Hundreds of little click boxes, and you have to sort of put like the song title, the album, who made it, what tracks on it, what studio was involved, who owns the rights, who owns the publishing rights, who does that. And it's literally about 50 boxes that you have to go down and click on each thing and fill it all in.
For one song, or?
Yeah, per song. Each song.
Oh, man.
And it's just, that's why
it's going to a good cause, though.
It scared me when I got the forms. I was like, I can't deal with this.
It's going to a good cause, though.
Yeah. And I mean, we were only going to be... But the weird thing is you can, on the pricing, it doesn't say, you can't put in a price. You put in premium, standard, and low price. That's all. They're the options.
Okay.
So I don't know how. If you put normal, is that $9.99 or is that $6.99?
I would assume you could just contact them and ask.
You know, yeah, probably. I just saw it and
I
panicked.
just solved all your problems with one sentence.
I don't like talking to people. Email's alright though, but yeah, talking to them.
What about this?
It's different.
It's different. Alright.
Well, this is more like two people just chatting about shit.
I'd rather talk about piss, but
yeah,
if you want.
Yeah, but shit's good. You can insulate the walls with it.
Yeah, but piss, like, you can drink it. It helps your body.
Anyway, so while we're talking about piss and shit, I've also been playing the Technomancer.
That's a good game. That's a good game. That's a good game. When I first played it, it felt like a combination of Mass Effect and Dragon Age, but in action RPG form.
Yeah, I thought it was Mass Effect-y, but with a more of a fighty sort of action feel.
Yeah, and I really like what it is. It's not as much loot-based, but it gets the job done, and there's an upgrade system. You know, you have shit like charisma. I haven't seen charisma come into play much yet, but it's a thing, and there's dialogue trees, and it is not as good as a Mass Effect or a Dragon Age, but I feel all right with the review score that was given to it on the website.
Did it get 3?
It got 3.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good score. Because 3 does not mean it's a bad game, it just does not mean it's spectacular. And that's exactly what it is. It's a good game, but it's nothing spectacular. It's something I feel is worth the money, but it's not
it's just
the best
average.
game. I feel like it's a little above average, but I could see why you would say that.
There's nothing that stands out.
Right, like I was saying, I could see why you say that.
I mean, I think what disappointed me most is when I saw the trailers and whatnot. It was like, ooh, like a decent role-playing game.
See, the thing is, I don't really watch trailers anymore. But
and it was like, it showed a bit of the action-y sort of fighty bits. And I was like, ooh, I really like Devil May Cry and those sort of games.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, have that sort of fighting mechanics, but then add the role-playing game elements on top. I was like, oh, that looks really good. And yeah, the fighting mechanics are not the best.
They work and they're cool, but they're not. They could be better. Yeah.
They're not Devil May Cry or Bayonetta or anything like that.
I barely played Devil May Cry, and I have not played Bayonetta, so.
Yeah.
Great conversation.
So, the Technomancer.
It's a good game.
I mean, I didn't actually know it was technically like a sequel.
Is it?
Yeah, the Mars Wars logs.
Oh, it's like a spiritual successor to that game?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's this same development team.
I did not know that. The thing is, I felt Mars Warlogs was playable, but like something you get bored with after playing an hour. You'd have to come back every so often to play.
That was another game that I saw the trailers and I really wanted to play it.
Yeah, I saw.
I
never
got around to actually getting it.
Yeah, so I saw the trailer for that game and I thought it was interesting. I was like, "What is this?" And I got it, and I was interested when I was playing it, but I got bored after about an hour, and then I came back a second time and I played for about an hour again, and I got bored. So, like I said, it's basically a game that you can play for an hour or less, and then you just put it down and come back to it whenever. I say you just get that game when it's on like sale, because there's nothing spectacular about that game. There's nothing it looks kind of good, like okay, like kind of good, and it plays fine, but it's just.
Would you say it's better than the Technomancer?
No, it's worse than Technomancer.
Right. How far did you get in Technomancer?
I've been busy, so I haven't been able to play too much, but I want to say like an hour or so.
Because I didn't get far into it.
I finished the first major mission where you become the Technomancer, and then I did one of the side missions the captain, lieutenant, or whatever asked me to do.
Have you seen Daylight?
Daylight, yes.
Because the first mission, it's like during sort of night, isn't it? When you're trying to become the Technomancer.
No, it's during the daytime.
I'm sure it was dark.
No, it's during the daytime.
Unless it's just all quite dark.
No, it's
but I just
during the daytime.
From what I played of it, it was at night. So it might have been before that bit. I don't know, but
maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Aqua Moto Racing Utopia?
Utopia?
That's the word. Thank you.
How was that game?
The problem is...
I like how it was silent for a second.
I was trying to think of how to start.
Right.
It looks gorgeous. The water looks really good.
Yes.
The problem I had with it...
Doesn't play well?
I loved it on the 3DS, the original game. And it was amazing from the first level all the way to about maybe... Say there was 8 tracks.
Right.
The first 4 were brilliant, and then the last 4 were horrendous.
Really?
Because you got to a stage where you have to go in and out of the left and right chevrons or chicanes, whatever you want to... I
don't know what that means, but okay, go on.
Those little floating bollards.
Oh, okay. What did you just say?
I don't know. Bollards?
What is that word? It sounds like bollocks, but...
A bollard is it's something that's... It's like a pillar that stands in the middle of the road that stops cars going down.
Okay.
It might be a UK thing.
I don't know. I really don't know. I never knew what those things were called anyway.
But yeah, basically, on the game, you've got to go around the track, but then at certain sections, it's got like the floating thing that's got either a red thing or a yellow light on it.
It's got a red thing or a yellow thing or
you have to go around the right, and a yellow thing means you go around the left. But if you go around the wrong way, you lose all your speed, and you also get 1 strike. If you get 3 strikes, you've disqualified.
Oh, so it's baseball. 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah. And in the early stages, it's okay because the tracks or the environment's quite open and you can see where you're going. But when you get towards the end of the levels, it's very tight and twisty. And tight and twisty on water doesn't really work very well.
But it works in other things.
Well, in normal driving games, you've got traction, whereas in water, you don't really have traction.
Wait, what?
So, the earlier levels, when it's more open, it works brilliantly. It plays really nice.
Okay.
But when it gets to very tight and twisty, it might be the fact that you have to spend hours getting used to it. Because I've only gone on, had a quick go, then, just to get a video up. And I will be playing more of it when I get a bit more time. But I loved Moto, Aqua for the 3DS. I think it was only about £8 when it came out for that.
I think this is a kayaking game.
This is going to be £20, I think, when it's out. I think it's out in early access.
Is it worth the money?
Technically, yes, but I still think it's not quite as good as Wave Race 64.
I never played Wave Race.
That, I still think, is the pinnacle of that jet ski races.
Okay. I liked Jet Moto back in the day.
Yeah, I think we call it Jet Rider.
Really?
Yeah, is that the one where
That's
you're
the
a
one
hover
on the PlayStation?
You're a hover bike and you can as you go around corners, you can use a grappling magnetic hook to go around faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jet Rider in the UK.
Really?
But yeah, I loved that game so much.
Yeah, and then this is where the whole Mountain Dew and video games thing happened.
Yeah, we never got the third one, which I think was a bit more sponsored.
I never played
only
the
got the
third
first
one.
two.
I think I only played a little bit of the first, and I played a lot of the second.
Yeah, I can't. It's one of these things where I played them that much, and I can't remember which one it is. But then when I actually played an emulator, when I had the Eagle TV box thing,
right.
I was playing, and I was oh, this track, I remember this track. Oh, this track, I remember. Do you know when you just you haven't played it for 20 years, and it was just oh, that's so good. Yeah, I love that game.
It'd be 15 years or something in my case.
I mean, we had Matt Small on the podcast about a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
I'm completely going to blank on the name of the game. He worked for, Vector Unit.
Never heard of them.
Who do Beach Boogie Blitz.
I've never heard of that.
Which, to me, it's not a very good game. But the games that they did do was they did the Xbox 360 and Windows version of Hydro Thunder Hurricane.
Okay.
Which was absolutely amazing. And for mobiles, they did Riptide GP2 and Riptide GP.
Okay.
And they're amazing games. And we had the guy on and we were talking. And I basically said to him, for your next Riptide GP, maybe you should think about using the Moto Rider whatever you called it. Idea of having hover bikes, so it's not just over water, you can go over land as well.
Yeah.
And they seemed very interested in the concept. So hopefully that idea might come back.
That would be interesting.
Because I did love that game.
But like I said, there needs to be a kayaking game. I have not seen one for at least 10 plus years.
I had one on my mobile phone on Android.
Really?
Yeah, because...
But I mean like a not AAA, but maybe AA kind of...
Oh, this was budget. Game. Real budget.
Yeah. I'd take a PC indie title for that. If anything.
I mean, it might have even been on the Wikipad when I got sent that to review. Because it used both analog sticks, either side for each side of your...
Yeah, well, it would have to.
Anyway. Moving on to a game that doesn't involve racing.
Pokemon Go.
Inside
Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Is that tell me what it is.
It's basically the sequel to... I've forgotten the name. It's the black and white game from Playdead, Limbo.
Okay, this is what I'm thinking.
So yeah, it's a sequel technically to that sort of thing.
Okay, how is that?
It's amazing what a small team of say 10 people can do with 6 years working on a game.
Is it good or bad?
It's probably the best game I've played in 2 or 3 years.
But then again, you only play bad games anyway.
Yeah. No, it's really good. I loved it.
I don't know if I never played Limbo, but I've seen somebody play through it. And I don't know if I was really interested in it in the first place, so I don't know if I'd be interested in playing inside, but I might be interested in watching it.
I mean, to me, Limbo was more puzzle than platformer.
Yeah, it's just I don't like the way that it was.
This is more platformer puzzle.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? So it's
so
more...
then I probably wouldn't like it.
It's less puzzles than than the original.
Yeah, I'm not... I don't really like platformers too much.
I mean, I liked Sonic, I liked Mario. I hated with a passion Little Big Planet.
See, the thing is, I like Little Big Planet because of the creativity stuff.
It doesn't matter if it's held together by the glue of the hideous gameplay.
I don't think the gameplay's hideous. I just don't think it's the best thing out there.
The character movement is just so wrong.
I do like Mario, and I thought Sonic was alright, but...
I think Sonic gets a really bad rap.
Well, for the modern games, Sonic deserves it. For the older games, up until... maybe just, like, Sonic and Knuckles, I want to say.
I mean, I will say, even Sonic Adventure 1 and 2...
Okay, you know what? I'll give it to you. Yeah, those were pretty cool.
And you've got to remember, on the Sega Saturn, Sega didn't really do any 3D platformers, so this was their proper big first 3D platform game.
Yes, and that included Sonic.
So I think yes, the camera angles were a bit dodgy,
but that's a thing of its time. Like, camera angles were not...
Yeah.
And they're still not perfected today, but they are so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for when you're first starting to do that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that a lot of people give it... Because they just see it as, it's the same generation as PS2, it's just horrible. But it's like, no,
well,
it came out...
Dreamcast was like just before PlayStation 2.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Sega, they didn't have the Saturn to make 3D games, whereas Sony did.
No, they had the PlayStation to make 3D games, not the Saturn.
No, I'm saying Sega.
No, I know what
Saturn,
you're saying. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Whereas, like with PlayStation, they had the PS1, which was a 3D capable machine.
Yeah, it was made to do 3D. Well, I mean, the thing is, the Saturn was not made to do 3D, and they added on a bunch of extra hardware,
cobbled it together.
Yeah, and they just barely got out with 3D capability. The Saturn was good for what it was, though, with the 2D stuff, and it was impressive that there were games that were able to be 3D rendered and playable on there. I have to give it to them.
Well, I mean, like,
it wasn't that great of a console.
At the time, when Virtua Fighter 2 came out, that was simply stunning at how that looked.
I guess I did not know about the Saturn, and I was a PlayStation kid, but like I was born a year before the PlayStation came out in North America, so.
So Inside, I would recommend it wholeheartedly. It's an amazing game.
How the fuck did we get to the Sega Saturn?
It was because I said the Little Big Planet, the player movement was horrible, and then we started talking about how Sonic gets a bad rap and that.
Oh, well, he deserves it for the newer games because they are pretty fucking trash.
I tell you what,
I want to say the more
Sonic Boom I thought was quite bad.
Yeah, no,
but the one before that, Sonic Lost Worlds, I thought that was not too bad.
I never played it, but I've seen it, and it didn't really seem too special. But the thing is, I feel like the last good Sonic game that's a modern Sonic game would be the Sonic Racing game, All Stars Racing.
Yes.
What is it? All Stars Racing Transformed or whatever.
Yes, something like that, isn't it?
That's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't even feel like a Mario Kart ripoff. It really doesn't.
I would actually say I had more fun with that than Mario Kart.
Yeah, but you don't like good games.
Mario
I'll say
Kart.
like I really do like the Sonic Racing game, but I prefer Mario Kart. I really do.
Mario Kart for the SNES was amazing. For the 64,
I will disagree with that. Like I'll say it's a good game, but
for the 64,
it has not aged well.
It was poor.
I haven't played too much of that one. So.
Apart from the battle mode, which was amazing.
I haven't played too much of 64, so I
and
can't
then
say anything.
The GameCube version, I'll admit I've not played.
I've had that. I have the GameCube that came with the game.
I mean, I've got it now, but it's
I like
300 miles down south.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's a good, and it adds an interesting mechanic to the game where you can swap riders, and you could do 2-player where, like, each person is, like, on a car. Like, you could do 2 players and have, you know, your buddy on the back. You could, like, cooperate.
And I mean, the next one, the Wii version, that was trash.
No, the Wii version was actually pretty good. And the Wii, the 3DS, the DS one's good. The 3DS one was pretty good.
DS one's good. 3DS one was amazing, and the Wii U one
is like the 3DS one, but with
for a couple of weeks
stuff.
Was amazing. And then after a while, I got sick of it.
I like the Wii U one better than the 3DS one.
Yeah, it's basically the 3DS version, just like cleaned up and added features.
Yeah, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying that I'm not one of these people. When I was younger, I played
Master System?
Ridge Racer Type 4, where to unlock all 128 cars, you had to play each track, but you had to finish first, second, and third on one level, restart the game, finish third, second, and first. You had to do all that in order on each track to unlock all the cars.
See, I like unlocking stuff, but that's just ridiculous.
And I managed to get to 124 cars, and then my brother borrowed the memory card to use it on his PS1. And then when he returned it, it deleted the whole thing. So I didn't play the game after that.
See, this is why I don't share that shit with people. Like, oh,
well, to be fair, I didn't share it. He just came back and said, I'll use that. I was like, oh, alright. Bastard. But, yeah, so Inside I'd recommend. Next up, Auto Warriors for
what the fuck
iOS.
Is this?
It's for iOS and, you know, basically iPhone, iPads. It's made by the guy who was, I think he said he was the lead on Split Second.
Okay. But this isn't for Android.
I think at the moment it's just iOS.
Oh, that's not fair.
But it's like a full 3D top-down view car combat game. But the gimmick is it's turn-based.
Whoa, what? It's turn-based?
Yep.
Alright.
You get 3 seconds. Basically, you either tap the car and drag it, and a little line comes out of the car, so that's where it will try and drive.
Okay.
And when you draw a line and press play, 3 seconds plays out, and then it stops. Then you change direction, change weapons, change, to try and destroy the other car.
Right.
And you do that.
So you're not racing around, though?
No, it's just a top-down car combat game. And once you've done it, it comes either win or lose. It comes up saying replay. So you click that, and it plays the whole thing as one continuous sort of like play.
Okay.
So you can see the whole thing playing in real time.
I'm interested.
And the car's got real physics, so if you hit a wall, you sort of flip out and do jumps, and it's really quite good.
That sounds really good. Oh man, I hope it's on Android. That sounds pretty good.
I played it for an hour or so. I got past the training bits. Had a chat with him for an hour with the interview for last week's podcast. And then I actually went to bed, went to sleep, woke up. Then over the weekend, man, I must have put about 5 hours into that.
Wow.
I really like that game.
I want to play that game.
It's good. I'd recommend it. I mean, I've actually said to him that although it's a completely touchscreen game, it's one of the more complete games I've ever played for a mobile phone. You know, it's actually well thought out, and it plays to the strengths of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what more can you ask?
For it to suck your dick?
The problem is the lightning jack's really too small. It'd hurt like hell.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the problems I had with I have one of, it's not the newest iPod Touch, but it's still like relative. And
if it's fairly new, I think he said it's out on the iPod as well.
But the problem is I can't charge it because the pins are squished down.
Ah, right.
It's like, wow, that's pretty fucking shitty.
So is it the pins in the charger or in the actual?
It's the pins in the device.
Ah, right.
And like to service it, even people at like Apple, like I've had a coworker take a look at it, and he called up Apple to see if it was like some Apple store or whatever, and he called around like different stores, not just Apple stores, but like people who fix that stuff, and they said it's like it's not worth it to fix it. You might as well just buy a new one. But like, fuck if I want to do that. So it's probably fucking dead. So, and charging it is nearly impossible. So, yeah.
I mean, why do they charge so much for bits and bobs? I mean, I used to have an old...
Because Apple devices are so fucking expensive. Like, they charge you like $5 million for like a $500 PC.
But so I had the old iPod Shuffle.
Yeah.
And I got it given for doing something for work.
Right.
And I used it for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone stood on the charging sort of arm. It was like a weird shape and it snapped. And I Googled around and went onto the Apple store, and you could buy a replacement charger. But the charger was about £35. But the actual iPod Shuffle was only about £40 brand new.
You see what I mean?
You know, so I might as well just buy a new one.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous, man. It's just, it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else?
Yeah,
what
so the last game that I played this week is...
Pokemon Go.
I won't even class that I played that. I turned it on, had a fiddle around with it, and turned it off and deleted it.
It's pretty cool.
No, it's Micro Machines for my iPhone.
Micro Machines?
It's actually not bad. It's a free-to-play game.
Micro Machines. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But is it a racing game? What is it?
Yeah, it's a top-down racing game.
Okay.
It's quite fun.
And yes, I know what Micro Machines are.
Yeah,
you don't have to explain to me what that is.
Yeah, they're like Micro Machines.
Is this podcast over yet?
It's getting there.
Oh boy.
So I mean, I'd recommend Micro Machines. It plays well. It looks nice. It's free. Give it a go.
There you go. That's the best selling point. Is it's free, because if it's free, I will most likely try it if somebody tells me to.
Yeah. But I mean, because I've had this Gamevice controller for my iPhone, I've deleted a couple of the games off my phone and downloaded some of the recommended controller games.
Mm-hmm.
And two of the games that I would like to recommend is Snow Party 2, which is like a Tony Hawk style game, but snowboarding.
Okay.
So I guess the best sort of thing I'd say it's probably like not Amped. Oh god, what were the sort of realistic-y sort of snowboard games that were on PS1? I've completely blanked.
I don't think any of them were realistic.
Cool Borders.
That's not realistic. That's like an arcade game.
But I mean, less arcadey than EA big sort of.
See, I thought because the first two Amps are like snowboard simulation games.
Oh yeah.
And the third one is
goes
just like
proper crazy.
Yeah, it was just crazy, but it was a good game nonetheless.
Yeah, so it's a bit like Amped.
It's hard to come by a snowboarding game right now, and with that, it's hard to come by one that isn't like arcadey and stuff like that. So like, there's Snow on PC. There's one that I found on 360 I never heard of, but it's called Stoked, and that's a really good snowboarding game. It's insane. It even takes effects. There's effects like in weather, so like one day can be hotter than the next, and that means like the snow will be there will be less snow, or like there could be like a blizzard going on in the game, and that means there's a shit ton of snow and you can't really see that much. Like there's and it updates like quickly. It's not like each real life day is a different like day of weather. Like there's a cycle that they have. I don't know if it's server side or what, but it's really interesting, and it's pretty realistic, and it's actually kind of hard to play due to it being somewhat realistic. But yeah, snowboard games are hard to come by, especially like I said, ones that are simulation. Especially
for mobile, it actually plays quite nice. But the best game that I've played so far with the controller is a game called AG Drive.
Oh, of course, a driving game.
And it's basically Wipeout, but it's basically F-Zero. Because it's Wipeout but without weapons. So.
I liked the GameCube F-Zero game.
F-Zero GX.
Yeah, I liked that one the best.
And was it the arcade that was AX?
Probably.
I can't remember now. Was that long ago?
That was the one
where
that
was good.
You can like buy new parts and create your custom machine, and like, damn, this game's good. And like, you have to be like on your game. It's not a casual game. You have to be hardcore into it, because you can like destroy your machine and just like retire within the first lap. So that's an awesome game.
Yeah. So sad things. That was probably one of Sega's last all-time greats from an internal studio.
Yeah, they need to make another F-Zero. They need to make one like GX, but make it like so much more over the top.
I don't think Sega's got the team to do it anymore. They'd have to go somewhere else.
Well, they would do what they should do is like have like devs at Sega and Nintendo work together.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying. I think nearly all Sega staff's gone now. The only teams they have now,
mostly mobile and shit,
are like teams that they've bought, like Sports Interactive, who do the Football Manager games, and the guys who do Total War.
I mean, Nintendo can do it. It's a Nintendo property, is it not?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's Nintendo's. I'm just saying they got Sega to do it last time.
I'll be honest with you. Nintendo could probably with Nintendo now, they could probably do a better job with that game series, because look at the games that Nintendo has been putting out.
I'm trying to think of some.
We look at Wii U games.
I can't think of any.
I mean, like Splatoon?
That was horrendous. I hated that game.
No, Splatoon is pretty good. That was done pretty well.
But this is what I think. Nintendo are gonna say when they announce the NX proper, they're gonna say, "Look at all these games that are coming to it," because in the last year or so, nearly all the big Nintendo games, they've all been farmed out to like Platinum or Namco or other teams to make. So all Nintendo studios, they're quietly working on unannounced stuff.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna actually sort of have.
They're gonna make it
the
F-Zero
new Mario,
NX.
F-Zero, Metroid,
they're gonna
everything
make F-Zero
ready
NX.
to go. So,
They
but it's
better
not going to be
make
called
it-
NX.
They better. No. I was just saying, but they better make an F-Zero game because that series needs to be revisited. It's been way too long. It wasn't on the Wii, wasn't on the Wii U. It needs to come back because they can do quite well with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I tell you, do you think that it's going to be a handheld machine that also connects to a TV?
It seems like it.
I mean, do you think they'll get the fidelity to actually get the games within a handheld sort of base?
What I'm thinking is they're gonna make the way I feel they're going to do is they're gonna make two versions, and it's not gonna be like too crazy to do this. So it's gonna be like the handheld version, and then when you plug it into the base probably has some kind of processor in there that it uses there, and it'll like upscale it or something. It'll increase whatever settings to the game, and you'll be able to play it on the TV. That's what it feels like it's going to be.
Yeah. There's also rumours saying that they're going to get half of it out for next year, then the other half for the year after or something.
I don't know. I really
Which
don't
is
know.
just
To be honest,
crazy.
that's crazy, and that's not. And Nintendo is crazy, but that's not Nintendo crazy. That's just a little ridiculous. I don't see Nintendo releasing half of their product to the consumer market. I see them waiting till they have a complete set and they'll ship it out. It doesn't make sense for them to sell half of a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think if they do that, the machine's dead.
Yeah, if they sell half of it, people are going to forget about it because then, you know, they can only do half the stuff or whatever if they're only selling the handheld first. You know? Like, in a business sense, it would make sense if at the same time they were releasing both things, but they were being sold separately, and it helped cheapen the cost, so if people only wanted to play as a handheld, they'd be able to do so. But releasing it at different times?
I mean, the only way
so.
that I can understand their thinking is they're thinking if we release it all in one, it's going to have a handheld game machine that's going to be about $200, maybe $250, and a home console that's going to be like $200. So are we going to really try to sell something for like $450?
It depends on what it's capable of doing.
So I can see them thinking, well, if we release the handheld for $250 now, and then in a year's time have that other thing for $200, it sounds a lot cheaper, but technically it's not.
I don't know, because to be honest, I probably wouldn't, as a consumer, I probably wouldn't buy that docking station unless I had to for specific games or something. But other than that, I would just play as a handheld then. And then that's where they'd lose their money. Because if they sold that separate part and most people just said, I don't need it, I'm just going to play as a handheld, they're going to lose their money on shipping it out separately at a different time. You know?
Yeah, it's... I just don't understand.
This is just rumors, though. This is just a rumor.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's probably going to be something
they're not
completely different.
Yeah, no, they're not. If this is what it is, I don't see Nintendo selling these two things separately at different times. Maybe selling them as different products, as separate products at the same time. I could see that happening, because I could see someone saying, oh, hey, I got the handheld, but I usually play this at home. They're selling the docking station right here next to the handheld. I might as well get it. That makes sense. But if you're selling it at a different time, people are already settled in as playing these things as handhelds, and the games work fine, assumingly. Why would they go out and spend another $200 or so on a docking station when they can already play their games? You know?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I don't know if you've ever used it or seen it being played, but I used to have the Neo Geo Gold.
I have that, yes.
And I quite enjoyed it, being able to either use it as a handheld or plug it into the little docking station.
See, the problem I had was I preferred to play it as the handheld, but I really wanted to have the arcade stick, because the audio and video quality was very garbage for TV, but on the handheld it was excellent. You know what I mean? It wasn't very good docked, but it was very good when it was a handheld, although the battery life wasn't that great. I need to find that thing, because it was a neat little thing, and I like playing Metal Slug. So,
I mean, I sold, man. I got an offer I couldn't refuse.
What was it? £10?
I bought it brand new,
Yeah.
with the Mega Games Collection Volume 1, because he only did one. Did they do two?
See, when I got it, I only got what's that ninja fighting game?
Some like Shadow summit.
Samurai
I know
Showdown? That's not it.
that's
is
the one
it?
with the swords. It wasn't that. No, it was a game that wasn't released in America or something. It was like a weird one.
I don't know much about the Neo Geo, so. But,
Yeah, but yeah,
it included whatever ninja fighting game or whatever.
I
That's
got
the one I
the exclusive game that you got. That probably came with every single one. I got the Mega Games pack, which had like 15 games on.
And the thing is, they were just SD cards, so you could. I think you were just able to load ROMs onto an SD
Technically,
card and play
you
them.
could, but it was locked, so you had to change the ROM names to the games that were already on the ROM.
No. I think you could just get an SD card by itself and just plug it in and play.
When I looked into it, it was you had to change the names of the ROMs to the games that were on it because it was locked in the console.
Really?
But so it would think it was booting the football game, but in essence, it could be whatever game you want. You just change the file name.
Really? Okay, and I didn't hear that. All right.
Yeah, I proper looked into it because I was like, do I really want to buy more of these games that were like bloody expensive?
Nope.
You know.
Did I ever tell you about what I found out about N-Gage games?
Nope,
I
don't think so.
You know what the N-Gage is, right?
Oh, I used to have one. Yeah, I loved it.
Okay, so yeah, I have both models. N-Gage games are shaped like SD cards, and one day I put it into an SD card reader for a joke, and it actually came up, and I was able to rewrite the files. You can change, and the thing is, I plugged in like the Elder Scrolls game, and all the audio files were WAV files. So you were able to change a lot of the stuff in the game. It's like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Shaped just like an SD card. It doesn't have as many pins as an SD card has, but it fits in an SD card reader and you can read it. That blew my mind.
Yeah, it'll basically be like the Sega GD discs.
GD ROMs?
Yeah. But technically speaking, there was no real difference from a CD-ROM. They just changed it slightly.
Well, the thing is, GD-ROM is thinner than a CD, but it holds more space. So that's why when people load games onto CDs, they run the risk of ruining their laser because it's putting a lot more effort onto the laser. But fuck that, you should just get the SD card reader thing that they have now.
I tell you, I watched a half-hour video about finally breaking the Sega Saturn's copy protection.
I'm interested in seeing this.
And the guy was like, I first of all just wanted to work out a way to make sound through the Sega Saturn, because it had like 38 channels you could do with different bits and bobs.
Right.
So he removed all the stuff that you didn't need. So he's basically had a board. And then he was like, I can't get any disk data on because the copy protection's really good. It's actually the disc themselves. They had like a little wavy line around the outskirts of the disc.
Really?
And if the laser didn't see that, it wouldn't boot up. So it was like, and the CD drive itself has its own processor that as soon as it turns on, it boots and it looks for that wavy line. If it can't see it, it won't boot.
That's awesome.
And he says, there's no way to get around that. It's a separate processor that's built just to do that one job. So he ripped the whole lot out. And then he was like, the video CD card, that's built into the stuff, so it gets data from that. So maybe if I do other bits and bobs. And in the end, he worked out that if he shoves something in the video CD port, shoves a USB connector onto it, puts data on a USB stick, it can basically just put data straight through. So it thinks it's booting from the drive, but it's not.
Oh, man.
And basically he's looking at trying to build these... At the minute, it's just like a board with soldered shit on it.
Right.
But he's looking at actually making it a bit smaller and a bit neater and selling them for people just to plug into the Saturn and basically just shove all your ROMs straight onto it.
I do that because getting Saturn games is, although the cases are awesome, they're
what are they like in America? In the UK, they were cardboard and they just fell apart.
Oh, they're like PlayStation Jewel cases, but like the old they're
like big double. Yeah,
so
big,
so
like, tall.
do you remember like 3DO cases or
Yes.
old PlayStation rectangular boxes before they went to the jewel cases? It's like that, but a little bit thicker, and it's like a jewel case, but that size. That's what those are like. They fall apart. Like if you drop it, that's it. You're fucked. But those things are so cool.
Because in the UK, it was literally like a double height sort of size, so quite tall.
Right.
And it was like cardboard all the way around.
Really?
With the plastic bits that like closed together and opened. But if you got a bit of moisture on it, the glue came off and the whole thing just fell apart.
We got better cases than you did then, damn.
At the time, it was a lot of like stalls and car boot sales and where you'd go and pick up your cheap Sega Saturn stuff because it failed miserably.
Man, I'd love to buy cheap Sega Saturn stuff.
I remember going to a car boot sale. This is like only a few years after it had been discontinued.
Right.
And they had Sega Rally there. I'd already had a copy of it, but I just like, I might as well buy it.
Of course you do.
And they had a sticker on saying £10. And I said, I've only got a few quid on me. And they're like, £3. I was like, I've only got £2.20. He's like, that'll do.
Wow. And how much is that game now?
Probably about 50p. Nah, that's the problem. A lot of the good games
have any Saturn games.
But the good games that were good, they actually did sell quite a lot of them. It was the shit games that are hard to find.
Right.
You know, it's...
apart
from... What annoys me is I used to have Burning Rangers, but it was terrible. So I sold it. And now it's worth like 100 odd quid. Yeah. I think I sold it to a friend for a £5.
Yeah, I think most of my games are common games. Like I have SimCity, Hexen, that Jurassic Park game that I don't like. I have
Is that the side-scrolling one?
Yeah. I have
Warzone?
the combo pack of what is it? Virtua Cop 2, is it?
I liked Virtua Cop 1 and 2.
Daytona and like Virtua Fighter 2 or something like that.
Daytona.
Daytona.
Oh, bloody hell, I've just realised we've been talking for like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's actually gone quite quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So should we do the wrap-ups?
Sure. I don't know how to rap, but you start and I will follow.
No, I was going to say something proper controversial then.
Like everything else you say.
No, I was going to say, yo, my N-word.
Yo, my nigga?
Yeah. The thing is, you forget that this podcast strangely, unexpectedly, crazily goes out to, I think the last one was maybe about 100,000 people.
Okay.
And I do get sent quite a lot of mail with, like, literally along the lines of, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. And then they'll say something. I was like, I can't remember saying anything about that.
I'm sure there's a lot of corrections for me, right?
I mean, that's what I had to take off the... we used to have comments below reviews a couple of years ago. And one of the girls who used to write for us, I was talking to her over Skype, and she was crying.
Really?
Proper,
you're gonna take something serious from an internet stranger?
So I'll just take the whole lot off.
Like, that's removing it, yeah, like, that's the smart idea. But, like, taking something serious from somebody who could be, like, from Africa or something, like...
It cut the views of the pages down by about 80%.
See, that's understandable, but what I'm talking about is, like, crying over something someone said.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
Like, before we started, I told you that arsehole about the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's just like, buy the game if you want to play it. You know? Don't bother me.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been One Up Gaming, so please visit our website at oneupgaming.co.uk. We are selling lovely little Android retro gaming boxes. It's called the Eagle Box. It plays, for me, Mega Drive and SNES flawlessly and PS1 games.
What about Master System?
Yes.
Okay. I might be sold.
And NES. It plays...
I think you mean NES.
8-bit, 16-bit, and 32-bit absolutely flawlessly. It's just getting up to the 64-bit era. It gets a bit janky, but I think...
Is PSP 64-bit?
No.
It's 32,
but
right? No, I'm just curious. I'm not pointing anything out you said. I was just curious.
No, I think the PSP, it used a higher resolution image and higher textures, which slows things down when they don't have enough RAM.
It's so funny you say that because I'm just thinking about it now. PSP, I guess, has somewhat higher resolution than PlayStation. That's funny to think about.
It might even have higher resolution than PS2.
PS2 is able to do up to 1080i with a lot of games.
Then again, it's like, when I've played the PSP games blown up on a TV, it does look very bare and sparse.
Well, that's because of the PSP, like, there's a lot of stuff that they didn't render well. Let's not get into that. But the thing is, I think I've seen PSP render up to, like, 480p, I want to say. Or 480i, it's either one of those. And PS2 was able to render up to 1080i on some games, like not Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo 3. I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I still, for some reason, mess up Gran Turismo and Grand Theft Auto. I don't know why.
Easily done.
Yeah, they're basically the same games.
Yeah.
That Grand Theft Auto thing came out, the Cunning Stunts thing. I really want to try that. It looks awesome.
I have no idea.
It adds new cars and, like, they're like stunt cars and stuff, and they added new races where you'll be racing through tubes and you'll be making really huge jumps where if you make the jump the wrong way, your car will explode, and There's a lot of like dodging stuff, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, but it's all on the online sort of bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I created a character, and then I maybe put about 10 minutes in walking about and turned it off.
Why is it that every time I bring up a game, it's always, oh, I don't know, I played it for the first mission and then got lost and turned it off. Or, I don't know, I played it for 10 minutes and then just turned it off. Or, I looked at the game for 5 seconds and realized I didn't want to play it, so I turned it off. This is like everything I hear about games that I bring up.
I don't like online gaming.
You could play that offline,
I don't like people.
Although... You would be able to race with other people.
I played the single player quite a bit.
The single player's cool. Like, you could still play.
I think
like
it's a little bit overrated. It's good, but
it's good. It is overrated, but it's still good.
Yeah.
You could still play like the multiplayer stuff, like in a single player kind of mode. It's not that great because it's just like you playing by yourself, though.
I'd probably like it better.
Like GTA 4 was fun to play by myself online. Like doing party mode or whatever. Because I just crash cars around and play around with the physics. And then in this game, it's like it's different.
How long did it take to find where the online mode was in GTA 4?
5 seconds.
Because I was looking all over.
It's on the phone.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You go to a menu and go online. You don't
load
the game up and go to the phone.
It's like one of the first like selections, I believe. It's just called multiplayer. How do you miss that on the phone? Like I can see you like missing it in the first place. Phone. Well, the thing is, you have to use the phone for a lot of things. Anyway, this has been One Up Gaming. We're done. Bye.
Yeah. So the Eagle Box, cheapest in the UK, $64.99. We have Patreon at patreon.com/OUG.
Can you not buy it in the US?
You can buy it in the US.
Okay.
It'll just be whatever price that is converted across because it's the same shipping. So we've got official t-shirts and mugs at bluecyborg.com. Just search One Up Gaming.
Woo.
We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Just go to our website. There's links at the top of the screen. You can tweet us at OUGofficial. Email us at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk. And you can find us on iTunes. Please just subscribe to us. Give us 5 stars. If people give us 5-star reviews and leave a nice comment and leave your Twitter handle, then once we get to 8 reviews per podcast, so the One Up Gaming podcast has got 8 reviews, OUG Talks has got about 4. Once we get to 8 reviews per podcast, I will give away a 8-inch Windows 10 Toshiba tablet.
I will give away an 8-inch floppy.
If it's 8-inch and floppy, though, you're doing quite well.
Yeah.
So it's been me, David, and George.
Yeah, that's me.
Saying thank you all for watching. No, thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week.
Hey guys, Justin here. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you in particular. In that way. And I wanted to say, I think you're great. I've always said that about you. And I was wondering, if you think we're great, if you could give us a quick rating on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It would really, really help us out in that, podcasty sort of way. And if you're feeling particularly festive, perhaps even a little saucy, maybe stop by our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG and see if you can't slip a few bucks our way. After all, every little penny or whatever space money they use in Europe helps out the show. Thanks for listening. OUG Gaming will always be free, but with your support, we can always move forward and always be better.